Another thing I do, I have on this side of my computer a calendar. And on that calendar, I write down every day how many words I wrote. Now this makes me sound so anal. Negativity, guilt, anal, yeah. I'm hitting some great stuff here, but it works for me, and it might work for some of you. I write down how many words I wrote every day, because again, that way I just know I can look and see either I'm making progress, this is good, this feels good, or maybe I'm not moving as quickly as I want to, and I can see it right there. And that little bit of guilt, that's not such a bad thing. That can be a good thing. That can be a motivator. It's just anything to keep yourself pushing ahead. Now, you know, my wife, being my wife, she I'm sure would encourage me to put in some positive things. So there are positive things around, not just downers around my desk. There are positive things too. I have, you know, my books. They're all right up there, so I can look up and feel like, on those moments, you know, when I'm wondering, am I a writer? Is this real? And I can look up there and there it is. And the magazines I've been in are the same. The award certificates, sadly, they're not award statues, but I'll get the certificates. I'll take them. All those things that just, because again, you know, we're masochistic and we're insecure, aren't we? Or maybe it's just me. Am I discovering something horrible about myself? Am I the only one? No, good. Thank you. We need validation. I mean, isn't that part of why we're here today? You know, being all together and talking about writing, it makes it feel more real. It validates us as writers. And so every day you need a little bit of that. Another thing that I put around my office area are just pictures, posters, books, things that inspired me when I was a young person, things that made me want to create, things that I saw and said, wow, I could do that, or maybe something kind of like that, or at least something half as good as that, and I'm going to try. So anything that's inspirational, wherever you find meaning, whatever gives you that spark, that why are you writing? Well, put up reminders so that in those moments when you forget, you can just look right around, right there at the keyboard, and you'll be reminded. You know, I recently read a headline that, you know, it was what I call a duh study. It's one of these studies that, you know, spends like $4 million over the course of 8 years, and it took 50 grad students so that they could say that kids like candy because it's sweet. It seems like they come out with one of these studies about every week. Well, I saw a headline about a new study that had just come out, and the headline was, I'm going to paraphrase here, something like, success hinges on hard work, dedication, subhead, brains, experience, not so much. So, for all of you with brains and experience, I know you're like, oh, but I've got brains and experience. Well, that's fantastic. I know that everyone in this room has brains and experience. Now you just have to make sure you've got the hard work and the determination, too. Now I'm going to tell two stories to kind of wrap up this talk. The first one is called It's Not Who You Know. And this kind of goes back to how my career got started. So I'm writing these short stories. And I feel like things are going okay. You know, this is a good thing. And I tried writing a novel, my great unpublished novel. And but you know, the time was right, so I did it. And I keep writing the short stories at the same time. And one day, out of the blue, I get a letter that has been forwarded to me by Alfred Hitchcocks Mystery Magazine, which is one of the magazines I was selling stories to on a regular basis. And I just felt like I'd been hit by lightning in a good way. And you'll see that this is, for writers, this is like getting hit by lightning. Because the letter that was forwarded to me was from a literary agency in New York City. And it was an agency that actually I had looked at when I was looking for agents. And I decided, I'm not good enough for them. I think they'll laugh at me. I can't. Well, the letter was from one of the agents there who said she had seen a story of mine in Alfred Hitchcocks Mystery Magazine. And here's the lightning striking. Did I happen to have a novel that I would want to send to her to look at? Because she thought, you know, maybe we could do something. Well, of course, I did have a novel. And I sent that out, and she didn't particularly like it. But my next novel, which was Holmes on the Range, she did like. and she is now my agent, and my career looks very, very different. Oh, thank you, thank you. My career would look very, very different without that wonderful individual as my agent. And, you know, so I didn't know her, and I felt, you know, very sort of apart from the, this was in Kentfield, California, by the way, that's where I was living at the time. So I felt very apart from all that New York stuff, and like nobody's noticing me. I felt like I didn't know anybody. And then something happened. It wasn't who I knew, it was what I was doing. Now, my second story is called, All Right, Sometimes It Is Who You Know. There's a catch. So this takes place last fall, it kicks off. And I'm a few books into my series, and I turn in my fourth book. And I'm not going to name names, but the book kind of gets snagged on someone's desk. And, you know, I've got a schedule. You know, we're trying to, in the mystery world, you try to put out a book a year, which can be very tough. But, you know, I hit my mark, and then the book just kind of disappears, and it's sitting on this individual's desk for months, and I can't get an answer. And of course, I'm losing my mind. And I think, you know, this is the end. My wife, she calls me Mr. Worst Case Scenario. Because I tend to interpret things a certain way, which is that the world is about to end. So I just, you know, assumed, you know, they I don't know, what, my publisher hates me now. What happened? They've written me off. I'm dead. But, you know, after 5 months of agony, the guy pops back up. Here's the book. Sorry about that. Just a few issues. Here, we're going to fix them. Ding, 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 and the book comes out. So that's part one. Part two is this spring, somebody from my agent's office gives me a call, and she says, hey, there's a publisher who is looking for someone to write a book really fast. It's going to be a sequel to a surprise bestseller, and the original guy can't do it, and they need someone to just jump in and write it. It's going to be big. And here's the funny question: are you interested? The response being, are you nuts? And so I throw that hat in the ring, and bing, bang, I got the gig. So, and I'm not allowed to talk about it, which, you know, makes me feel very cool. I say, at this project, I'm not allowed to talk about it now. But came to be that the person who had called my agent's office and said, you know, word on the street is these guys are looking for somebody to jump in and do this book. I think Steve would actually be really good for this. It was that guy. That guy I wanted to kill. He's the guy who opened this door for me. That is just, you know, to a wonderful opportunity. Now the thing is, I was telling myself last fall that I was a failure, that I failed. You know, this is it. It's the end of the road. Yet, what I never did was act like I was a failure, except to my wife, who got to see all that. But with my publisher and my agent, I did this pretty well with my agent. I kept it together, and when the guy popped back up, and it's like, okay, let's go now. I just went with it. I just did the work, and there you go. And it really paid off. And again, the moral to that story is not really like that it is who you know. It's how you act, and it's how you tell yourself you're going to go about your business. And if you tell yourself you're a failure, the odds increase exponentially that you're going to fail.